Hey guys, it's Jedi Lex, and welcome to the 11th episode of Beyond Tatooine, where I bring on different collectors to talk about how their love of Star Wars originated, as well as take a look at and chat about their collections. And on today's episode, I have Madison from the Madilorian channel. So, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm very excited to be on the podcast.
I'm excited to have you. It's so good to have other female collectors and get to
Yes.
talk, especially a female collector of my age and stuff. So, it's awesome to have you.
Yeah.
For people who may not know you, can you tell us a little bit about your channel, where people can find you, and what you focus on?
Yeah. So my username is the.Madilorian, like play on the Mandalorian, on all my social media. I post primarily on TikTok and Instagram. But I do have a few YouTube reels out there, or YouTube shorts, I guess. Yeah, I don't post a ton on YouTube. But yeah, on my page I do pretty much Lego Star Wars collecting. I collect other Lego themes, but primarily my focus is Star Wars collecting, Lego, and then like cozy kind of like house decoration content and fun vibes. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I will leave all your information down in the description so people can find you easily. But I guess let's jump into it. How did you get introduced to Star Wars?
So my dad really likes Star Wars. I feel like a lot of people can connect like with their parents and Star Wars because it's been around for so long. So my dad loves Star Wars, and I had watched a lot of the movies, but I went and kind of around in high school and like the end of high school and college, I was rewatching them and I just got way more into it. I will say The Mandalorian really propelled my like collecting obsession with Star Wars. I'd always loved the movies, and then once the show started coming out, it became like a more current thing that I was able to get into. And I loved Lego. And so then that really came together a little too much because now it's a huge hobby for me.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the exact same way. My dad introduced me to it and I always like grew up like watching them and stuff, and then kind of like into high school I got definitely way more into it, and then the shows kind of I started collecting, especially over COVID, and that
Mhm.
was a thing, and I got back into Lego. I used to build Legos when I was younger,
Yeah,
but I
same.
like definitely over COVID I was just picking up Lego sets like left and right cuz I didn't have anything else to do, so I just started building Legos.
Yeah, same. I feel like that, like right before COVID, I had seen some sets, I think honestly like Target or something. And I was like, I haven't gotten any like recent Lego. And then I saw some cool Star Wars sets and I was like, maybe I'll just grab some stuff. And then it really kind of like pushed me back into the hobby. And then what I really wanted, honestly, the whole thing started because I wanted Star Wars model ships and I wanted them like as decorations. And then I realized, oh my gosh, you can build them out of Lego. That's really, really cool. And so then that got me into like the Lego collecting. And then once you start collecting Lego, you realize that all the themes are cool. There's so many fandoms that you can get involved in, and it just kind of goes from there. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. I see the little botanical ones kind of behind you. I get those from my mom. Like anytime it's her birthday, Valentine's Day or something, I'll get her those because she doesn't really have a green thumb. Sorry if
Yeah.
you're watching this, mom. But I just try to get her those because she doesn't, they'll die, but Lego lasts forever. So it's cool to kind of have that with her.
Yeah, I love the botanical collection, obviously, because I have a lot of live plants and I love like cozy home decor. And I feel like the botanicals are like perfect, especially for people who maybe aren't into like fandom themed Lego. Like that's just a
Mhm.
super fun theme. But yeah, I have the botanical. I also back there, it's like really hard to see, but I just got a Jurassic World set that's like a really cool T-Rex
Ooh.
skull that I love because like I study biology. Or I work, I guess, in biology. And so the T-Rex skull, I was like, I need to have this fossil. This is so cool. But yeah, definitely botanical sets. I love those, are so pretty.
Yeah. And speaking of kind of Lego sets and Star Wars, we are getting some new sets pretty soon, I think May possibly. Do you have anything to say about that? Or, is there anything that you're anticipating or let me know.
So I actually just reposted Jean's version's picture on my story of like a bunch of new stuff that I think she got from like Lego sent it to her or something.
Mhm.
I believe they're coming out March 1st. I don't know if I'm 100% correct on that, but that's great and horrible because now I have to buy stuff on March 1st. That's too soon. Um, but yeah, so there's a few new sets coming out. Some of them have caused like a little bit of, I feel like, controversy of like if people like them. I feel like I posted some videos that people were like, what are you talking about? And I was just trying to like be informative.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, there's some cool midi, like I think it's called like mid-scale sets. And so they're kind of like more, not like with a minifigure scale, it's more like a display scale of like a ship. And so they have like a Millennium Falcon coming out that's just display scale. And then I think I don't exactly remember what they have of other ones. And then there's this hallway set that's coming out. That's like the classic kind of hallway scene. That looks pretty awesome. But I'm really excited for those mid-scale sets because they're perfect for display and they're very aesthetic looking. And I really like that for like my main display.
Gotcha. Yeah. So what are your thoughts? Because I know the hallway scene has like I think it's a fives minifigure.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people are like, dude, like I just want to buy the minifigure. I don't want to have to buy a whole set. Is that like typical? I haven't been collecting Lego like that long, so I don't know it that well, but it
Okay,
seems interesting.
so I got roasted for this on social media. This is the first I'm speaking out on it.
Okay.
So you heard it
This
here
is a
first.
safe space. Just,
Yeah. So pretty much what
be
happened.
nice.
Yeah, everyone, please be nice to me. Pretty much what happened is that they did this, I guess, for the this is the 25th Lego Star Wars anniversary. For the 20th anniversary, they did this. So maybe that was in like 2019, 2018, whatever, when they sold this. And so they'll do like a set and then they'll put like a random collectible figure with the set, but it's not related to the content of the set or the movie it's from or whatever. And
Mhm.
so I didn't 100% like remember or realize that. And so I made the video about the hallway thing and I was like, why is fives just like with this hallway? I was like, is this a new thing they're doing? Is it just you get a collectible thing by buying the set? People literally, my comments were like, bro just started Lego Star Wars, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, just because I was an 18-year-old girl when this happened, I was like, I wasn't thinking about that at that point. Like, people come in and out of hobbies and it's like so easy to be judgmental and gatekeep everything. And I think that maybe if people had just been like, oh, they did that a few years ago, like maybe you didn't see, like I feel like that's the nice thing to do and like keep everyone in the loop and everyone informed of what's going on. But yeah, so I guess they're doing a few different like collectible figures that are like unrelated to the set for the 25th anniversary, which is interesting. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of a lot of the sets that they've kind of announced. I know there's like another R2D2 and I've got mine like up
Yeah.
there. So I don't think I'll get another R2, but I saw that it was like a Darth Malik figure and I was like, those two just don't go together at all. And
Yeah.
then I didn't realize that they were like so unrelated, but I do want the Tantive 4. I think that like
Yes.
mid-scale one is really cool. And the same thing with the Falcon. That'd be cool to put next to like the play scale. But
Yeah.
there's some interesting ones too. I think there's been some like kind of circulating, I guess, or at least like concepts, like
Mhm.
the Bunta's Eve diorama with like pod racing. That
Yes,
would
I
be
did see that.
amazing. But the C3PO looks a little scary.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I do like that isn't it like pretty metallic looking from what I've seen?
From the concepts, like I don't think there's
Okay.
any like official leaks of it, but it
Yeah.
looks very metallic.
So at least that's kind of a win if it is really metallic looking, because at least it'll be kind of real. But besides that, seems like it'll be an interesting thing. I'm I'm like iffy about some of the buildable stuff they've done before, and there's been some other concepts of like action figure type things that are like characters. Like the buildable Chewy thing was kind of creepy. I don't know. I think that maybe we should leave the buildable concept to droids because like that's a very easy thing to make as a build because it's already like a robot looking situation and you're not trying to make like something that's human looking.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like the one droid I wish I mean, they did a great job with R2 and the BD1. I really like
Mhm.
those. The one that I really want to see because I'm a big Rebels fan is like a buildable chopper or something like
Yeah,
that. Like that would be cool.
that would be
But
awesome. I mean, the Dio one is so cute. I love
oh, I
it.
have that one too, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, so much of my collection is literally still in boxes from when I recently moved. Well, not recently, now it's like 6, 7 months, but so much of my collection's in boxes and my entire buildable droids are all in bins. And like those are some of my favorite sets, to be honest with you, and I really need to get them back out.
Gotcha. So is there any set that you wish Lego would make?
Hmm. I want a new Jabba sail barge. I think that'd be awesome. And obviously maybe another Max Rebo. Me, I'm like my bestie. Um, Yeah, I really would love another Jabba sail barge. I have a weird thing where I love Tatooine. I don't know what it is. I love the cantina. I love anything related to Tatooine. My like dream like Lego city would be like Tatooine is like a Lego city. Like that'd be such a cool thing for me to do. I have my cantina that I've had for like years sealed and I haven't built it. That's a big thing that I'm looking to do one day. But yeah, I just I feel like maybe some more Tatooine or like Cantina-esque scenes would be really, really cool. I love the dioramas too. I think that maybe more dioramas because they feel like a very elevated, like displayable set.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think I have all the dioramas. I just haven't built them all. Actually, I don't have the Endor like speeder bike one,
Yeah.
but I really like them. I feel like they capture like a perfect scene. They're very
Mhm.
well put together. Like even the one like the trash compactor, it like moves, and I was like, this is
Yeah.
so cool. So I absolutely love the
Yeah.
dioramas. That's why I'm looking. I hope the Boonta's Eve is like real and it's not just like a
Yeah.
rumor, but we'll see. We'll
The
see.
trash compactor is a cool one because it has so many figures and it's like movable. What do I have? I have the the one with like Luke and Vader and Palpatine, the throne room one.
Yep,
And then I have the trench run one. I
that's a
think those
cool
are the
one.
only ones that I have. I did order all of the pieces for a diorama and I made my own diorama base and then I made the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan and the Obi-Wan or Vader and Obi-Wan in the Obi-Wan show. And I have that in like a photo that I sent you.
Yeah, you do.
But I made my own like mock diorama, which was really fun.
Yeah, I did notice that. I was like, "Huh, I didn't know that they made that into a diorama." Like, I must have missed that, but that's cool. I'll definitely kind of highlight that when we get to that. So you like Tatooine?
Mhm.
Is like the prequels kind of your favorite movie? Are you into the prequels era?
I really like the prequels. I think they're really fun. I mean, I feel like that the original movies have a lot of nostalgia and I really do like to collect original sets, but at the same time the prequels have like a really fun aspect. I think that there's a lot of interesting scenes that can be made into Lego, so that's fun, but in overall with Star Wars, I think that I honestly like the sequels too. Like I don't really have like a 100% favorite movie. If somebody asks me, I'm like Empire Strikes Back and Revenge of the Sith are like probably my two favorites that are like in the running. But I loved the cinematography of the new movies. Like there was really beautiful scenes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I love Kylo Ren. um, the Knights of Ren are some of like my kind of favorite Sith characters in all of the movies. I think that they're just a really cool concept and the character design is really cool.
Yeah, they are cool. I saw the Funko Pops of them and stuff, and I was like, those are actually like really dope. But that's
Yeah.
interesting. I do like what you said about the sequels. I think cinematography wise, they have like great stuff going, but I think the storyline is where it kind of like loses me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely pros and cons of the sequels. I will say that, but I think that they're visually really cool movies and I think that they brought in some really interesting characters to the Star Wars universe.
Gotcha. Yeah, I totally agree. So, do you have a favorite show then? Could be live action or animated. I'm assuming it might be Mandalorian.
Yes. So I have a lot of thoughts on this. Mandalorian season 1 and 2 is my favorite show. Um Season 3 lost me a little bit, very sadly. I still do love The Mandalorian and the concept and the story. I think is very adorable and I think it's such a cool concept. But I think overall favorite show is Andor. I thought Andor was like actually amazing. I don't know what it was about it, but just like once you kind of get past those first few episodes where it feels a little bit slow, it I couldn't stop watching. I loved it.
Interesting. You're the
Mhm.
first person that I've had on that has ranked Andor like number one in some
Wow.
aspect. It's very hit or miss. It seems like with a lot of fans. Like some people
Mhm.
either are like, nope, I couldn't get past the first few episodes, or people that finished it are like, oh my god, this is amazing. I finished
Yeah.
it because I don't like not finishing shows.
Yeah.
It's not like my favorite, but I did appreciate some of the things, and I think the finale was kind of like crazy to me. The fact that they were kind of just building to their demise essentially, like what was going to kill him in what was it, Rogue
Yeah.
One? Like he put that together essentially. He helped build it just for it to
It was
kill him.
insane.
That was crazy.
Literally like that I wish I could for the first time ever rewatch the entire show just to have the reaction I had to the post credit scene. Like when I tell you that post credit scene changed my life, I was like not healthy after that. That
Yeah.
was insane. Like truly. Also, I think that the Lego that like the sets that came from Andor were pretty cool. Like there was like the ambush on Ferrix's ship situation and like the figures. I thought that those were all really fun. I'd like to see more Andor sets, honestly. Um, And yeah, I just thought the show was super cool. And like, I like how Star Wars is very like whimsical and like aliens and like, you know, sci-fi. And so I feel
Mhm.
like Andor showed another side to Star Wars that was very serious and like very political and kind of like in what the everyday life of like the civilians in Star Wars go through, and not what like a hero that's like has a jetpack goes through. And so I thought that that was like a really nice story to add to the Star Wars universe, because we weren't just getting another like crazy cool show. It was kind of something that was like more realistic.
Yeah, maybe that's why some people aren't, like, such a fan of it, but I
Mhm.
like the different perspective of it.
Yeah.
I'm a big I forget which episode, it was, but, like, they had all the lights and stuff, like, overhead. I thought that was, like, the most beautiful scene in all of,
Yeah.
like, Star Wars and stuff, but
Yeah.
I think they did just wrap up kind of filming season
Yeah.
2, so do
Yeah.
you have any predictions of what you think
Mhm.
Andor season 2 might entail?
So I know that Diego Luna just posted a thing about season 2 and everything. And I okay, so what I took from what I like what I'm assuming is happening is that like Andor season 1 was like a certain period, and then Andor season 2 covers like the period in between what we saw in Rogue One, and it's like a lot of time goes by through the whole season, I think is what I took from what's happening. Um so I have no idea what I think is going to happen. Like I don't know what they're going to pull out, but I'm very excited to see because I think Diego Luna is really really cool.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect of the season 2 either, because eventually it does lead up to the events that happened in Rogue One,
Yeah.
so you kind of know that he's not gonna make it, so it just is interesting to see, what's gonna progress in between season 1, but before the events that happen in Rogue One. So I think
Yeah.
it'll be interesting. I'm excited for it. It's not like my most anticipated project, but I'd like to see season 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very excited. Another kind of Star Wars project that I would like to see is maybe something with a lot more Sith, or like maybe more background of that or something like that. Because I don't know. I think the Sith is really, really cool. The Jedi are cool, but I love the story of all the Sith. So
Yeah, I had the gentleman that I had on last time, Noah, he was like, "I would love to see, like, a Tales of the Sith," and I was like, "You know what? I think that would do really well because I think a lot of people really enjoyed, like, the Tales of the Jedi, but
yeah.
getting to see, like, maybe the Sith aspect of it, maybe, like, Plagueis or Darth
Mhm.
Maul, things
Yeah,
like that, I think that would be really cool.
it would be really cool. And even like some backstory of some newer characters like Shin Hati or something like that. Like I don't know. I feel like that there's some super cool, like kind of dynamic, like evil characters, and so I think that some backstory would be cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I would love to kind of learn more, especially because I feel like we didn't learn too much about Balin and Shin, like,
Yeah,
prior, like, how did they get to that point, essentially? I don't think there's a lot of
yeah,
backstory to it, so I'd love to, like, learn more about those 2 characters because I think they did a phenomenal job. Even though I don't know much about them, I fell in love with them through the Ahsoka
yeah.
series.
I thought they were super cool characters and very like you were kind of like a like you were drawn in by them. Like I feel like the character design and like what they looked like in their outfits and things like that, but also like their I don't know, their attitudes was very interesting. Like I want to know where they came from.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Okay, so you like the Sith and stuff. Do you have a favorite character?
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader, okay. Just Darth Vader, not like an Anakin Vader, just Vader?
I just love Vader. I think that it's I don't know, he's just such a staple, like iconic character with such an interesting costume, and like was something we've kind of never seen before. And so I just feel like nothing compares. Like it's so classic. But I do really like Kylo Ren. I think Kylo Ren is fun. And I like Adam Driver, so I think that's fun. Um, but yeah, I think maybe like Mandalorian, Kylo Ren, and Vader would be like my three, and they're very different, but like those are my three maybe favorite characters. But those are all men, so women deserve to be recognized too. And I definitely, I was this is I was never a huge Ahsoka fan. I never disliked Ahsoka. I just never had gotten super into Clone Wars stuff. I still don't know the most about Clone Wars stuff, to be completely honest. Like I don't really collect a lot of Clone Wars,
Mm,
but I really, really was drawn to Ahsoka in this new show, like with the live action and stuff. And then I just really love her character, and I love also like Ashley Eckstein, who is like, I guess, the voice actor for Ahsoka. She's kind of like brought a lot to the character too. So I think that Ahsoka's maybe one of my favorite female characters.
Gotcha. That's a very diverse list.
Yeah.
Ashley Eckstein did a really good job developing Ahsoka's character, and I think Rosario Dawson really like continued on that legacy,
Yeah.
but put her own spin on it, which was really nice to see. But it was cool kind of watching Clone Wars because you get to kind of grow up
Mhm.
with Ahsoka as she like learns and goes through different phases
Yeah.
of her life and stuff. So it was really cool to kind of see like a strong female Jedi character that you could like
Mhm.
relate to essentially. So that's why I love Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So you did send me a few pictures of your collection.
Mhm.
I want to take a look at these.
Yeah.
So this was the first image that you sent me. Can you let me know a little bit about it?
Yes. So here, this is like my Boba Fett shelf. I do love Boba Fett. I think that just such a cool character, and like how people were so obsessed with Boba Fett, like when we didn't even have a lot of character content in the movies, like, or a lot of dialogue or anything, and then suddenly now a whole show happened and like the Mandalorian was involved. It just really was great that it all came together. So I love Boba Fett, but I have my Boba Fett Fennec Funko Pop up there, like the combined one. Actually, like Funko James gave that to me, which was really amazing.
Oh,
He's so awesome. But
yeah.
I was so excited about that. So I have that. I have this pretty old like little set there that is um related to like the Jabba's palace situation, but like I think it's from 2003. Um and so that just has some really old figures on there that are super super cool. And then as you can see, well, like obviously I have my two Bib Fortunas. That's kind of why I like to put these together, because I have like the really old Bib Fortuna, and then I have the one that's from that newer like Jabba's Boba Fett's palace, whatever that is. But yeah, I love this set. Obviously, it's Tatooine, so I love like I don't know, the sand color and everything. I think it's super cool. And then I have my really fun Loungefly backpack. And I recently got that, and it's on sale I think right now on Loungefly. So if people want that one, it's super super cool. And I got amazing pictures at Disney with it, and it holds so much stuff. So had to display that.
Yeah, it's a cool backpack. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
But cool. What are your thoughts on like, do you think Lego has, because I know you have the two different sets from, or not sets, but the minifigures. Do
Mhm.
you think Lego's kind of taken a step forward and like has really kind of changed how their minifig style is for good or for bad, or does it depend?
I think it just depends on like wanting to reminisce, I guess, on like older style figures or not, because they are very drastically different looking. But I will say that I love like when we get a really cool, like in that Bib Fortuna figure with like the whole head mold thing and everything, we get new molds that are super detailed and have really cool stuff. Like I just have to be excited about it. I think that's really cool. But it's also fun to have the older figures and kind of like reminisce. And that's the fun thing about Lego is that you can get all the new sets or whichever ones you want, and then you can be like, oh, there's all this retired stuff I can also think about too and spend my money on. So
Yep, there's a lot of stuff out there.
yeah.
Kind of crazy how expensive some of the older sets can get, though.
Wild. And figures, oh my gosh, don't even get me started.
Well, I
Crazy.
know that like the Boba Fett from like the Cloud City is like insane.
Oh, thousands. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's crazy. Could
Wild.
never, could never. Could buy like a whole house.
Yeah.
And then this is your kind of like two pictures in one, but
Mhm.
what do we
Yeah.
have here?
So as I said, a lot of my stuff is still in bins. So I used to have like multiple Lego Star Wars shelves next to each other, which I was really happy about. This is kind of just my main Star Wars display. And then in my room, I do have a separate shelf that I have other themes. Like I have my Natural History Museum, I have my Minecraft sets. It's like another theme I like to collect more heavily. And then a few other things. Dreams has been really cool lately. But yeah, so this is my main Star Wars shelf where I get to like have my Star Wars love in my living room. And then these two shelves are towards the top that you see here. And so the top one has like a really cool Empire Strikes Back vinyl, and then also like a magazine. And those are actually both my dad's. And they're like original from when he was a kid and he gave them to me. So it's really nice. I can have like really cool old stuff on my shelf. Then I have little trinkets and things like that. And then kind of just some like original movie stuff at the top there with those figures and everything. And then obviously we have, I like to think of this as like my little Sith area kind of, or like Empire situation, with the little mini Death Star and all like that different 40th anniversary stuff. And then my trench run diorama, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, I love that one. It's
Yeah.
so cool to look at.
That shelf is like aesthetic to me because everything, I love that it's all gray. I like
Yeah.
they're all the big gray ships and stuff, and I feel like that is like really sleek. Um, I do actually think that one of my favorite ships of all time in Lego, well, in Star Wars, but that have been made into Lego, is Kylo Ren's shuttle and the Inquisitor scythe. Those two that are like all black, they're super, super sleek. Those are like amazing to display. I really need to put them back out.
Oh, so you have both of them.
Yeah, I do. I have a good amount of the Sith ships and stuff like that that are just not displayed. But the Inquisitor Scythe, I think, is one of my favorite newer Lego sets.
Interesting. It is a
Yeah.
cool set. I like the all like blacked out sets, so those are pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm like a little bit emo, so having like the sets be like a whole black shelf of like all the cool, really sleek sets, I'm like, oh, I just love it.
It's perfect. Cool. And then I think this is like a little bit closer of like the bottom part of your
Yeah.
shelf.
Yeah, so actually this whole shelf has one more shelf at the bottom that I've been using to store some random things, and then I just put my backlog in front of it. So it's like, oh guys, look, I have so much fun stuff. But yeah, so that's my little minifigure stand. I got that from an Etsy seller. I don't exactly remember where, but it's really nice to display all my minifigures. And then that's kind of my Mandalorian shelf. That 3D printed sign is from a friend of mine that does 3D printing. And I have, I think, photos of it, like with it tagged on my Instagram, but super, super cool. Like, I'm so happy that I got that little sign to put in front of my Mandalorian sets. I have a lot more Mandalorian sets. Like, I have the Razor Crest and all of that, just
Oh,
not
wow.
displayed currently. But if you can see in the back next to the Baby Yoda ears, there's kind of like this little situation that looks like a little bar. So that's a
Yeah.
alternative build I found on Rebrickable, which gives you like alternative instructions for sets that are already there. And so it's the Mandalorian Forge set, but it turns it into like a bar. And so
Cool.
yeah, I rebuilt it into like a bar and I put it on my Mandalorian shelf, which was pretty sick.
I didn't know that they kind of did that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, so there's like this whole website that you can look up any set in Lego, and then there's a tab you can click like alternative builds or something like that, and people will upload their own ideas of what they've used the same pieces for and make something different. So I like to do that sometimes so I can have something new with the same set.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's cool to like take them apart and rebuild them, but if you could like put them back together in a different form, that's even
Yeah,
cooler, I think.
yeah,
And you have
and I'm sorry.
no, go for it.
I was gonna say the Mandalorian Forge is cool, but it's kind of like awkward to display the shape of it. So like that made it really funky.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I think it's cool that it's like a little bar scene instead. Because the Forge
Yeah.
one I always found like interesting looking, but so I never like purchased it. But I
Mhm.
might have to go get it and just make it into a bar.
Yeah. I mean, I love any set that's like an actual scene of something happening and not just a ship. That's why I think maybe like the dioramas are cool. But yeah, I love how the cantina is very much like a scene of like a building and things like that. I think that, and also the Yavin 4 Rebel base, like that's a really cool like whole building of a set. I think that Star Wars could benefit from maybe doing more collectible building sets actually, or like modular Star Wars. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have on this shelf too, like my little baby Yoda ears, Grogu, and then my sister painted me that, and then I have the my minifigure stand, and then below it I have a few other kind of like newer sets that I really like, and then there's I believe it's from 2015, maybe it's earlier, but there's one like TIE fighter back there with the blue that's kind of a little bit of an older set that's pretty cool. Um, but yeah,
Cool. Yeah, you got a lot of good stuff.
thanks.
In regards to your minifigs, though, you have a lot of minifigs. Are any of them like super rare or like expensive?
Yes. So I don't have anything crazy. Some people have crazy stuff. I have Max Rebo right there, which is my little guy on my jacket. My favorite, arguably my favorite Star Wars character of all of them, if I'm not going to be talking about the Mandalorian or something. But yeah, Max Rebo is very adorable, and that's a pretty expensive figure just because it only came in the 2013 Jabba sail barge. It was never made again, so that's why, and it's adorable. And then I have all the Knights of Ren, which those are in all different sets from sequels, and so you kind of have to like buy a lot of different sets to get all. I think there's 7 of them, so that was kind of like a collector goal for me at a time, was to get all the Knights of Ren, which I did. And then I have a bunch of Ewoks on there because I also love Endor. So I was trying to do another little goal where I got all the Ewoks. So I have a good amount of the Ewoks on there that I've collected. But yeah, and also the Bad Batch figures. Those are pretty cool figures and very detailed. So I have all those too.
Cool. Are you excited for the Bad Batch season 3? Speaking of it,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get 100% into it. I do like the show, but I feel like I didn't finish season 2 100%. I need to go back and check it out. But from the stuff I've seen about season 3, it looks really awesome.
yeah, I'm definitely super excited about it because I think it's gonna come out Wednesday, so it'll be the day before this goes like is aired. But I'm very
Oh,
excited, especially with
yeah,
Asajj.
yeah.
Like,
That was like a
really.
shock.
I was really taken back. I was like, "Am I hearing Asajj's voice?" And then she came and had like the yellow lightsaber. I was like, who is this?" It was
Yeah,
crazy.
no. When I saw like just the scenes that were being showed in the different trailers and clips and stuff, I was like, wow, this looks kind of epic. It's kind of gonna be sick.
Yeah, it looks very intense. Like, there's been a lot of like, I guess you could say like filler episodes with the
Mhm.
other seasons and stuff. I mean, really, it's just kind of like side missions and things
Yeah,
like that that all kind of lead up to something. But I think this one is gonna just be like action on action on action, and I think it's gonna be crazy.
yeah, agreed.
Fingers crossed. We'll see. And then I think this is the last picture that you sent.
Yeah. So this is what's right above my computer. And so I have these clear shelves that I installed, which are really fun. But when my door closes, everything falls off.
Oh no.
So I've recently taped everything down to the shelf. So hopefully that will be done with. But yeah, I have here's some of my Funko Pops. I'm not a huge Funko Pop collector, but I really love them. I wish I could have them all out of the box and had like duplicates of all my Funko Pops because that would be really cool. Um, I still struggle with being like, I should just take them all out of the box. And I don't know how I feel about that. But I mean, I know you collect a lot of Funko Pops, so I don't know how you feel on that.
So I take them out of box, but it depends on like what it is. Or
Okay.
some of the times like I'll take it out, I'll like kind of look at it and then put it back in the box. But a lot of like the more rare ones or like the stickered from like conventions and stuff, I
Yeah.
usually don't display those, but the little cheap ones and stuff that I get for like retail, I
Mhm.
usually take them out because I like looking at them and stuff. But
Yeah.
I get the controversy, the in box, out of box. I think it's really just your preference and what you care about. So I don't know why there's such controversy over it because if you want to keep them in box, keep them in box. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, that's why I have that one Max Rebo that's up there out of the box. Because there's 2 of them, so I was like, I can have both. But yeah, obviously you can see I love Max Rebo because I have 3 of his Funko Pops, and then I think that the Brickhead sets, those little Brickheads, those are the Funko Pop version of Lego. And so I like displaying them all together because they look really fun together. So I have like my Mandalorian and Grogu brick heads with the Mando and Grogu Funko Pop. I have the 2 Grogu ones. And then this is where I have like my 2 little battle scenes. I really like having the Anakin Obi-Wan like duel on Mustafar, and then the one from the mock that I made from like the Obi-Wan show, because I think that's like a really cool parallel to put next to each other. Yeah, but that mock was really fun for me to build. I don't do a ton of mock building. I'm not as creative with Lego as I am just collector. But yeah, and then that Revenge of the Sith little 3D printed sign is from the same person that made my little Mandalorian sign, and it goes great there. So yeah, and then those are the newer brickheads that recently came out.
Yeah, I have that like set. I just haven't built it yet. I don't know why, but I like what you said because I'm like weirdly in love with the brickheads, and I never understood it until just now when you said that it's like the Lego version of a Funko Pop, and I think that
Yeah,
like made a lot of things just click in my brain as to why I love brickheads.
yeah, because it's exactly what it is. It's like a little figure with like a big bobblehead looking thing, and it's like kind of derpy and it's cute, and that's like exactly what the Funko Pops are. So yeah, I think it's a perfect little thing to put together, and it's fun that you can have kind of like a fun figurine version of your favorite characters. Yeah, so I really like that. But the shelves on the right of it, those are both empty. I'm kind of waiting to get myself to start building things that I have in like boxes in my closet and maybe put out more for display.
Yeah, absolutely. Is the Duel on Mustafar, is that like an actual set or was that like a mock as well?
No, that's a set that came out. I purchased it in 2019 in stores, so I believe that it was in stores 2019 or 2020. So it's a fairly like newer set, I guess, from the last like 5 years. Yeah, but that's a set, and it actually like comes apart and then shuts. Like you can click it together, so it's kind of like a square. But mine I actually pulled apart, so it's like long against that shelf, and then I have that little sign in front of it. Yeah, so that's a set, and then I thought that was a cool parallel to be like, oh look, they did it again.
Yeah. It was definitely I like the parallel and the mock. I didn't know I saw the one and I was like, "Oh, like that's interesting." Like I didn't know that they did that diorama, but now I know that it's a mock. I can make one
Yeah.
myself.
It was me. I feel like definitely just looking up the instructions, the pieces for the diorama base, and then you can literally put anything you want on a base. So that's really fun that Lego kind of has those standard base instructions, and then once it's like a clean slate, you can do whatever you want.
Yep, because I've noticed like when I put the dioramas together, it's almost the same construction for the
Yeah.
base, and then you kind of just build upwards from there. So I like
Yeah.
those a lot.
The
And
one I
then
really want is, oh sorry, the one I want is the X-Wing one so bad.
yep, yeah, that's a cool one. Do you have like a lot of the bigger like UCS sets?
So I have the Cantina and I have the UCS Landspeeder both in boxes. I haven't built them because they're very large and I don't necessarily know where I'd put them right now. But and then I have the Ghost next to me too. I just realized that, and that's pretty large. So those are the three like biggest sets that I have. But I do have put away the Razor Crest. I have Kylo Ren's shuttle. I have the UCS, or I don't know if it's the big R2D2. I don't know if that's UCS,
Mhm.
but I have that giant R2D2. I have all of the buildable helmets. I don't even know what I have, to be honest with you. Like, if you let me take out those boxes in my closet, I'd probably be shocked what I have. I've honestly gone to buy, this is kind of embarrassing, like, I've gone to buy sets and then I've been like, oh my gosh, I have that like in a Ziploc bag in my closet. So I forget.
Yeah, I've had that happen a few times, like with Funko Pops and stuff. I'll
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, like that's a really good price. Like I don't have that." And then I get home and I'm like kind of sorting and looking through and I'm like, "Oh, I did have that." So, it
Yeah.
definitely it
With
gets
Funko Pops, don't they make like the same thing like 10 times in 10 different editions or poses, and it's like which one do you actually have?
yeah, so they do like different color variations of the same mold or like they'll dip it and make it metallic and stuff. And I try to stay away from those and I try to stick with like the very realistic to the character ones.
Mhm.
But like with Grogu, I love him. He's amazing, but we have so many of him. Like
Yeah.
it's him holding cookies or it's him holding a
Yes.
frog or.
I have the one, I'm trying to look. I have the one holding the cookies, and then I have one just by himself. And then there's probably 50 other ones. I probably need all of them though, because I love Grogu. Um, Also probably one of my favorite characters, maybe, but
Right. Do you think that like with the Mando movie kind of coming out, do you think they're gonna age him up a little bit? Or do you think they're gonna keep him tiny?
see, that is a wild thing to me because, first of all, at first in the show, he was very, very cute, and it was like, oh my gosh, he needs help and he's the baby. And then all of a sudden he started like doing flips by season 3, and I'm like, what is he doing? So honestly, I mean, at this point, now that he's like Din Grogu or whatever, maybe he will talk. That will be honestly, I'll be scared. I think that if he talks, like, I don't know how I'm gonna react to that, but I'm very interested to see the continuation of this series just because it is a character that I love so much, or two characters that I love so much. So I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. Like I wonder if he does start talking, is he gonna talk like Yoda? And kind of just like be very cryptic or, but I don't know if they're really gonna age him up much or just like leave him like that, but I think I'd be shocked if he starts speaking like Yoda.
So whatever comes out of his mouth, like I'm gonna be traumatized, to be honest with you. Like I genuinely don't know how I will react. Like, I think it's so funny.
Yeah, it's interesting. Or maybe like even him having like a lightsaber. I think that would be like crazy.
Well, he had his
Like his
like
little
full
body.
nail. So
Yeah, who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
yeah.
And then the brickheads, I've also been seeing this kind of circulate that they're gonna do like a Phantom Menace, kind of like similar to what they did for Return of the Jedi, but with like I think it's like Obi-Wan, Padme, or Queen Amidala, like some of those as
Mhm.
brickhead characters. I don't know if that's like valid, but I've been
Yeah.
seeing that kind of circulate.
Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome. I think that definitely Brickhead, since it's like something that you do like one of each character and they're like collectible or one of each costume or whatever the case may be, I think that those are like fun things that people will always want to grab, especially if they collect those specifically.
Yeah. Do you have like custom brickheads or do you kind of just stick to the ones that Lego releases?
I've never ordered or like been given ones that people like have made from like companies or something like that out of like genuine Lego pieces. I've only gotten the ones from Lego. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I
Yeah.
have a few of the custom ones from, like, Imperial Bricks that I really like
Yes.
'cause I wish, like, Lego would make more of them because I just love
Mhm.
collecting them, and now it makes sense because 'cause they're Lego Funko Pops.
Yeah, I think that Imperial Bricks has a Max Rebo one, which I think there is one. I need that maybe.
Possibly. That'd be a
Yeah.
cool one. Hey, okay, well, I think those are all the pictures that you sent me of your collection. So I have a
Yeah.
few questions about your collecting. So when did you really, like, get I think you said it earlier, but when did you kind of get really into collecting Legos and stuff like that?
So that was more like collecting seriously was definitely in like 2019. That's when I became like a pretty like serious like I need to get these all these sets. I want to display them. I started like playing with Lego when I was younger and I really liked Star Wars. So I think 2019 was like when I started seriously collecting.
Okay. And then it's really kind of just Legos. That's like your primary focus essentially.
Yeah, I do have other Star Wars like items. Like I really like other cool Star Wars things, like especially things I can get at like Disney or cool little like collectible things, but pretty much Lego is like my main focus. I I wanted to try to get into maybe like Funko Pops or something else, but I feel like I'm opening myself to like a whole new avenue that I cannot go down.
Yeah. Yep. I feel like as soon as I see something cool, I'm like, "Oh, do I really wanna, like, start this? Because then I'm gonna want this one to go with it, and that one needs a
Yeah.
friend," and kind of things like that, so, yeah, the Funko Pops is a slippery slope, but so is Lego.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It
And then I
is.
guess my last question, what is your favorite piece in your collection, if you have one?
Hmm. That's a good question. I think the UC or the it's I think it's not UCS, it's like the Master Builders Collection, the Cantina. I think that when I open the Cantina and I have it built and I can have all of those like exclusive minifigures out, I think that will be my favorite like item that I have collected over time. And it's just even cooler that I've had it sealed for so long. So yeah.
Yeah, that is a cool one. I would love to see it, like, all nice and built, so whenever you get around to that, definitely make sure you post it because I think it's
Yeah.
a really cool set. I don't
Yeah.
have it, and I don't know where I would put it, I guess, same thing with you, but it's a
Yeah.
very cool set.
I wanted it to be maybe like a coffee table piece, but then I was like, that's my whole coffee table. So
Yep. Yeah, I like the coffee table things where it's kinda like glass and then people put the Lego sets inside.
yes.
I think those are really cool. Like, I think once I get, like, an apartment and stuff, that's what I really wanna do is have, like, a Lego coffee table.
100%.
My goal. Goals in life, you know? The big girl things.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I need, when like I have a house and I'm like a normal person, I can have a room for all my Lego and it won't be in the living room. So that's my goal. Have Lego room.
Yep, same here. Gotcha. Okay, so those are all the questions that I have for you. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
Not that I can think of, but I mean, I just appreciate you like inviting me on here and asking me about my collection because obviously I love to talk about it and I love to talk about Lego and Star Wars.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm trying to get, outside of just Funko collectors and because I feel like Star Wars, there's a lot of things that you can collect, and I think it's really cool to kind of look at other people's collections and see what they're very passionate about, and I think it's really cool. And then, having more female collectors, I think is very important. So
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate you coming on. It means a lot.
Yeah, thanks so much. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we go, can you let the people know one more time where they can find you and if you have anything upcoming that you want people to be on the lookout for?
Yeah, so you can find me again on TikTok and Instagram at the.Madilorian. Um, Coming up, I'm not really sure that I have anything too crazy. I really do want to try to go to a Lego convention over the summer, and I know that I'd hopefully get to meet a lot of cool people. So that's a future plan of mine. But besides that, I think I'm just gonna continue to post extremely silly videos that I can laugh at, and I hope everyone else laughs at too and has fun. And um, definitely excited to talk about the new drops, new Lego drops.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone be on the lookout for the new videos that are coming out and I'll leave all your information down in the description. And again, I just appreciate you coming on. I think it was very nice talking with you and it was definitely really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
absolutely. See you guys next
Thanks.
Thursday.
Bye.